Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever thought, what difference would it make if I just worked one more year before retiring? This video was inspired by an article on Bolden by Kathleen Coxwell exploring what it means financially and emotionally to delay your retirement. And today I want to go even deeper because the truth is delaying your retirement by just a year could easily mean $100,000 or $200,000 or more in savings. But it's not just about the money. It's about your time, your freedom, and the life you want to live. So let's break it down dollar by dollar so you can get clear on what this picture might mean for you. At the center of this decision is a tough balancing act. How do you set yourself up financially without sacrificing too much of the time you have left? I see this problem firsthand. My mom is 73 years old and still works in a job that she doesn't really enjoy. She is financially able to retire, but she is terrified to live without a paycheck, and she's not alone. So many people find themselves caught between these extremes. The fear of running out of money and the fear of spending what they've spent a lifetime building. This is personal and emotional, but the numbers matter too. So let's look at what's really at stake. Let's start with Social Security, because for most retirees, it's the backbone of retirement income. If you're a high earner, your benefit at full retirement age, or 67, might be around $3,100 a month. If you delay claiming by just 1 year, that benefit will increase by 8%, bringing it to about $3,300 a month. Over a 20-year retirement, that 1 year delay can add up to nearly $60,000 in additional spendable income. Now let's look at a more mid-range earner who might have a benefit at full retirement age of about $1,500 a month. If they delay claiming by just 1 year, that benefit will increase by 8% and be over $1,600 a month. That's an extra $120 each month, or $1,440 for the year, which could add up to $28,800 over a 20-year retirement. Delay claiming by 2 years, and that benefit increases to over $1,700 a month, which over the course of a 20-year retirement would increase your guaranteed income streams by nearly $58,000. And if you live in a two-person household, that effect multiplies. So if each earner delays only 1 year and they were both a mid-range earner, we could increase the spending power of the household over a 20-year retirement by about $58,000. Again, just each person delaying 1 year. If they both delay by 2 years, we have a combined increase of $5,760 per year, which over the course of a 20-year retirement would be over $115,000 in spending power. The key here is that Social Security isn't just a monthly check. It is a lifelong guaranteed income stream, and delaying just a year or two can really make a big difference in your retirement. This is one of the most powerful levers you can pull to increase your income streams, especially if you are projecting a longer retirement, a healthier retirement, and needing these income streams for life. Now let's talk about what working just one more year can do for your overall financial picture. Let's say you earn $75,000 a year and you're saving 15% of your income, so that means you're contributing $11,250 into your investment accounts. Importantly, this also means you are not withdrawing from your portfolio. Let's, for instance, say you have a $500,000 portfolio that you were otherwise planning on taking a 5% withdrawal from. That would be $25,000. So in this case, your portfolio gets to remain completely intact and continues growing. Let's say it grows at a rate of 8%. Over the course of a year, that $500,000 portfolio becomes a $540,000 portfolio. You have a $40,000 gain. If you had a $1 million portfolio and it grew at 8%, you would now have $1,080,000. That's an $80,000 gain. And that growth pays off for life. Let's break it down simply. If you withdraw 5% a year from a $1 million portfolio, that gives you $50,000 a year or $1 million over the course of 20 years. But if your portfolio grows to $1.08 million, that same 5% withdrawal gives you $54,000 a year, adding up to $1.08 million in spending over the course of 20 years. That's an extra $80,000 in retirement income just by giving your money one more year to grow. By working just one more year and allowing your portfolio to grow, it can grow by another $80,000, all without you contributing a dime. Of course, it really does depend on how the market performs that year. Could go up more than that, it might go down. We don't have a guarantee, but we can go off averages. But this is really like the opportunity to give yourself a future raise, and a future raise that you get to apply to every single year of your retirement. Now let's look at the same example with a $500,000 portfolio. A 5% withdrawal gives you $25,000 a year, which totals $500,000 in spending over the course of 20 years. But if that portfolio grows to $540,000, your 5% withdrawal becomes $27,000 a year, or $540,000 in spending over 20 years. Again, that's an extra $40,000 in retirement income. Again, this is just by letting your money grow for one more year. It's not changing your savings rate. In fact, it's not even contributing more to your investments. It's just leaving that portfolio untouched for one more year. Staying in the workforce for just another year also means the opportunity to supercharge your savings. If you're earning $75,000 a year and saving 15% of your income, that's another year where you get to put $11,250 into your investment accounts, and that's prior to any employer match. But what if you're a high income earner and you can really supercharge this? Let's say you make $175,000 a year and say you're over the age of 50, or maybe you're even over the age of 60. In 2025, the IRS allows $23,500 as the max employee deferral limit. They also allow an additional $7,500 as a catch-up contribution if you're 50 or older. And if you happen to be between the ages of 60 and 63, you can really supercharge the catch-up contribution because you can contribute an additional $11,250 on top of the $23,500 limit. Which means if you're 50 or older, you can contribute up to $31,000. But specifically, if you're between the ages of 60 and 63, you have a golden opportunity to contribute up to $34,750. That's just 1 year, potentially pre-tax, that could inevitably grow for decades. And if you did have 1 year where you contributed this $34,750, if you left it invested and captured an annualized rate of return of 8% and did that for a 20-year retirement, this one investment could grow to nearly $162,000. And just because you're a high-income earner in your 50s or your 60s does not mean you are always a high-income earner. Maybe you had a lesser income early on in your career. Maybe you made sacrifices like fully funding your children's college education at the expense of saving for your own retirement. So taking advantage of these catch-up contributions can really be a golden opportunity to go into retirement with a solid foundation. So if you're feeling behind, know that you're not alone, and know that staying in the workforce for just 1 year longer can make a big difference. The longer you leave your dollars invested, the harder they work for you. And 1 year really can make the difference if it allows you to go into retirement with a stronger financial cushion, and go into retirement with more confidence. Now let's also look at the benefits you might lose if you retire, because these can add up fast. First of all, health insurance is a really big ticket item, especially if you're retiring prior to Medicare eligibility at the age of 65 and you fully have to foot the bill yourself. According to Fidelity, the typical cost, out-of-pocket cost for someone not yet eligible for Medicare is about $12,000 a year in healthcare. Then there's also your 401k match, and this is one of the easiest ways to boost your savings with free money. Let's say you work for an employer who offers a dollar for dollar 5% match. On a $75,000 salary, that's $3,750 for the year. Add that to the $12,000 in health insurance value, and you're getting nearly $16,000 in benefits just staying one more year. Let's also run the number for a higher income earner. On a $175,000 salary, a 5% employer match is just under $9,000. Combine that with the same $12,000 in health insurance benefits, and you're looking at nearly $21,000 in added workplace value. That's money you would either have to cover yourself or just entirely miss out on if you left the workforce early. And remember, if you're eligible for catch-up contributions, that's being layered on top of additional tax-advantaged opportunities. So when you are stepping away from the workforce, you don't just want to look at your salary. You want to consider your total employer compensation package as a whole. So what's the actual value of working just one more year before you retire? Let's run the numbers for both a mid-range earner and a high-income earner using all of the components we just walked through. Let's kick it off with the person who is earning $75,000 a year. First, delaying Social Security by 1 year could add about $29,000 over a 20-year retirement. Add in one more year of salary, that's $75,000 in income. If you don't have to withdraw from your investments, say a $500,000 portfolio at a 5% withdrawal rate, that's $25,000 you get to leave untouched. Let that portfolio grow for one more year at 8%. It adds another $40,000. You also get to contribute more, 15% of your salary. It's $11,250 in added retirement savings. And finally, don't forget your workplace benefits. Health insurance could easily be worth $12,000. A 5% 401k match on this salary, just under $4,000. Together, that's nearly $16,000 in added value from benefits alone. Put it all together, and the total potential value of delaying retirement by 1 year for the average earner comes out to around $200,000. And that's a conservative estimate because it doesn't factor in anything like cost of living adjustments, the compounding potential in these tax-advantaged accounts, or the emotional impact of being able to have one more year to prep for your retirement. Now, let's consider a high-income earner, someone making $175,000 a year, but we're also going to assume that they're between the ages of 60 to 63. First, delaying Social Security by just 1 year could increase lifetime benefits by nearly $60,000. One more year of salary adds $175,000 to the income side of things. By staying in the workforce, you also avoid tapping into your investments. For someone with $1 million portfolio, that's $50,000 you don't have to withdraw. And while that money stays invested, it continues to grow. At an 8% rate of return, your portfolio could grow by $80,000 in just 1 year. You also get to make significant contributions to your retirement accounts. In 2025, if you're between the ages of 60 and 63, between the standard contribution limits and the super catch-up contribution limit, you could put away an additional nearly $35,000 into your 401k. And then there's your workplace benefits, health insurance, and a 5% employer match on a $175,000 salary. That gives you nearly $21,000 in additional value. When you add it all up, the total potential value of delaying retirement by just 1 year for a high-income earner in this range is approximately $419,000. 1 year, nearly $500,000 in financial impact from just delaying retirement by 1 year. But again, this doesn't consider the emotional side of things, giving yourself one more year to prep. No matter what your income, delaying retirement by just 1 year could easily have the financial impact of 6 figures. For many people, this is one of the single most important financial decisions they can make. But the real question is, what's it worth to you? Of course, not everything valuable shows up on a spreadsheet. Time is your most precious resource. Delaying your retirement can absolutely build up your financial strength, but it also costs you your time. But if your job is one that brings you joy and you have a great sense of purpose and a good sense of community, maybe that's a trade-off you're willing to make. But if you have a job that you don't enjoy and you have a whole list of things you would otherwise like to be doing with your time and you're counting down the clock until you can leave that job, it's probably not worth it. And just to be clear, I am not saying that you should delay retirement at all costs. My hope is that you step into retirement with confidence on all fronts, financially, emotionally, and personally. That you get to feel ready, empowered, and excited for what's next. Because the goal is not to die with the biggest bank account. The goal is to live well on what you have. So how do you figure out what's right for you? Here are some of the most helpful steps. 1, run the numbers. Use an online calculator to test different retirement dates and what their true impact will be. 2, map out your income streams. Social Security, a pension, investment withdrawals, any part-time work. You want to know where all of your money sources are. 3, build a retirement budget. Not just a rough estimate or the generalized basics. Really build a budget for the life you want to live so you know what it costs. 4, explore your identity. Knowing what you are retiring into is just as important as knowing what you are retiring from. Talk it out with your spouse. Make sure you guys get on the same page. Use a financial advisor if that's a route you want to go. Even talk it out with your future self. ChatGPT can be a wonderful sounding board in this situation. You want to have a very clear and accurate picture and use all the tools that are available to you. Delaying your retirement by just 1 year can absolutely have a massive financial impact. We're talking in the ballpark of 6 figures, but your time, your happiness, your health, all of that matters too. I'm going to link the article that inspired this video in the description box down below if you want to check it out. It was over on Bold Insight and it was a wonderful read, and my hope is that you will use this as an inspiration to run the numbers for your situation. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like, leave a comment down below to share your thoughts, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. First, delaying Social Security by 1 year could add, I can't see it, there's something over it that's stupid. There's no way I remember all of these numbers. Of course I have notes, just in case you guys are wondering. Yes, I have notes up the wazoo. And today I want to go deeper because and when you claim has a profound impact on what kind of It is one of the most powerful levers you can pull to guaranteed and awful. Sometimes life is falling apart around you and you just put on a happy face and you keep working through it because there's nothing you can do. Because it doesn't factor in any cost of living adjustments, it doesn't factor in the compound growth in these tax advantage accounts or the emotional situation. I don't want to say it's like a terrible way to phrase it. How's your emotional situation? Not good, in case anybody's wondering. Not good. So let's break it down because it also matters what it means for your time. Your time is something.